Today's guest is Emer, an Irish violinist, composer, and sonic innovator based in Los Angeles.
Welcome, Emer, to Artist Conversation, the Century of Frozen Souls podcast.
Hi, thanks for having me. Lovely to be on today.
Oh,
Thank you.
it's
Thank you for
great.
joining the podcast.
Thank you.
So, getting right into it, Emer, you left Dublin at 18 and lived across Austria, Germany, Chicago, and eventually Los Angeles. So, what did all that movement teach you about your identity and about trusting yourself before the path was clear?
Yeah, I think that journey really it's a little I kind of discovered different parts of myself as I moved around. I often like to think of it like the hero's journey, kind of self discovery. Yeah, leaving kind of after high school and just discovering community along the way. Music was kind of allowed me to move around all these different countries. Um, like I lived in 5 different countries, and yeah, so I kind of took different cultures and traditions with me that I feel like wound itself into my music as well.
That's amazing. I mean, 5 different countries. Which one is your favorite, if I may ask?
Well, a mix. I really liked Austria, and then enjoy living here in the United States. But yeah, in terms of my identity, I've just kind of taken a bit from like almost like a tapestry from different places, and I feel like each place has kind of developed my identity in different ways. That's why I kind of like to do hybrid mixes of things, which kind of reflects my journey as well.
That's nice. And I think it also, when I was listening to your stuff, it's kind of evident over there too, right? It's, I mean, I don't know if I may say multicultural, but it's kind of influences maybe from those being in those different places. Maybe that's what
Eh,
I felt at least. So I was very
Yeah.
curious to ask you about that question.
Okay. Yeah. I think everywhere you go or spend enough time in does kind of imprint onto your work and your voice, and just being able to pull from different things that I've discovered in those cities that I've lived in. I think it's definitely had an influence on my music.
That's
Wow,
pretty cool.
that's great. So, so you lived in this so many different countries. How did you felt like every time you are moving into new cities, living your life kind of from a scratch, learning the new culture? How does it feel to you?
Well, I'm pretty good at just stepping into the unknown and figuring things
Okay.
out when I move around. So it started, yeah, when I left Dublin, I studied in London, and then found my way to Vienna and Salzburg. And yeah, at first, I think it's particularly in the music and entertainment community, there's so many interesting and creative people that you feel kind of supported, and it makes it easier to kind of feel like you're just stepping into like your own world, kind of that yeah, each place I felt like it was welcoming, and I could discover new things, but also because of the people I was around, it made it a little easier to just build things along the way. So yeah, so even though it is I'm often doing things from scratch, but I like to kind of figure things out just by meeting people and getting involved in whatever there is to get involved right away in those cities.
And Salzburg is the place, right, for Mozart, and the museum. I've been there actually.
But yes, yeah, that was I did that with these summer master classes that I went to in my summers while I was in London, and then I went to Salzburg, and that really opened up a new world for me. Just yeah, Salzburg, it's really beautiful, and there's so much
It is.
musical tradition.
Yeah. Although I was there, I think a couple of years, or 4 years ago, and it was in December. It was cold.
Uh,
it was definitely very, very cold, but it was beautiful to go to the museum and see everything, and it was just nice. So
yeah.
you, you know, talking about the craft and blending worlds. Your music bridges classical violin, electronic production, and cinematic scoring. So, how did you give yourself permission to blend worlds that are often kept separate?
Hmm. Yeah, I think growing up as a classical musician, that it's very in its own realm, kind of within its own walls, and I I think I always liked just like singing some ideas to myself, even when I was younger, and just kind of wanting to break the walls, but create those bridges. So yeah, I was just kind of gave myself permission in a way, like, oh, this sounds interesting to me. Like, how can I step out of the box and blend other things? And then when I discovered electronic music in like a random elective while I was in my undergrad in London, yeah, at the Guildhall School of Music and Drama, I tried an electronic music class and just tried these sounds in Logic, and then I also tried a media composition class, and I just thought this kind of opened up a whole another sound world, and blending that with my classical background it was just kind of the sound that I really loved. Um,
That's so interesting. I mean, can you give us like more, and for the viewers who are going to listen, I mean, because it's like coming from that traditional classical background, and you said you took that one class, and that opened stuff in Logic for you, and you started getting into electronic music production. I mean, seriously, but it's still so different, right? Two different worlds almost.
yeah.
Can you tell us how the experience was, and what was the first thing you did? How did you kind of beyond the class, or even through that class, what did you try to explore first? Because you have all this background and all this knowledge, and I'm like, how can I blend this? I would love to hear more about that experience.
Yeah. Well, first I just wrote it like a song. I think I wrote like a rap song, and then and then,
Wow. Were
and
you
then
rapping? Were you rapping to it too?
yeah, I've always loved spoken word as well. So actually, yeah, I had written something, and then I was experimenting with the electronics. But then I was performing. Then I started performing my own kind of my own works in like small venues, like band venues where I could try something different than when I was playing classical music. And that's where I was like, oh, I'll blend electronics with violin or strings,
Hmm.
and that just continued to open up kind of worlds for me. Um, and then trying to think over, yeah, just over the years, then discovering film music that really kind of helped me continue with that too, to
And
blend
was
like
there any in the cinematic scoring? Was there any kind of course, I'm sure there was a lot of influence of your classical in that, but was there any kind of involvement, or did you include any of the electronic music too? I'm just kind of curious in the cinematic scoring, or or at least elements, small elements from here and there, or at least those ideas.
yeah, that's where I was able to just continue to blend electronics with strings or
Hmm.
orchestral instruments. And yeah, I think once I discovered electronics, it was really just a change kind of in my life where you know
New
where
thing opened up.
where I had to include that somehow. But I was always like a fan of film scores like Philip Glass or Michael Nyman, and then
Hmm.
also Clint Mansell, who combines it more with electronics, like chamber music. So I've always liked like smaller string sounds with with electronics, and yeah.
That's
That's
awesome.
great.
And when you when I'm just very curious about these three different things. That's why when you made some music with that, these the classical violin, the electronic music, and the cinematic scoring, or combination of either two or three. And when you played it live, because you said you played some of the stuff live, I'm kind of curious. Like, were there people who knew what you were doing earlier, and they would kind of, wow, this is something new? What was that reaction, or even your experience like?
Oh, I think, yeah, people have kind of noticed that I was doing something different. and I guess I've kind of been known for that since, always trying different music ideas or new locations. Like then I started also finding like a venue, like an abandoned building where I brought like a quartet, but there was an accordion player. So this was more acoustic, but it was like accordion, two violins,
Uh-huh.
cello, and we played out of the windows of the abandoned building when I was living in Vienna. And so I was writing a bit for like live, but also in more of a cinematic way.
Hmm.
That also, yeah, the kind of the unusualness of that, and in a new environment, like there was like a courtyard, so the audience could feel it in the circular space. And we actually performed from like the rooftop, and then came down through the building, and then performed at the bottom. So I'm always trying to find innovative ways to present music to audiences, and do things with other sounds. So yeah.
Do you? It almost sounds like a sound performance, sound slash performance installation. Um,
A little bit, yeah, but very much, yeah, written music,
right,
um,
right, right.
for the concert, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
That's great. No, Ima, we were just talking about the blending stuff, like the way you blend the classical music with electronic, the cinematic thing. Just I think yesterday or one day ago, I've seen your stories on Instagram where you are printing your albums vinyls, and that one limited edition golden vinyls also you're made for it for every fans of yours. So I would like to
Yeah.
know from it, like over the years, the forms of music, you can say, I will say the mediums from where the audience listen music, like it was a vinyl first, then it came the cassettes, then CDs, DVDs, and now it's streaming. So I in 2026 I saw that your fans are still eager to buy those vinyls which you are printing right now. So how do you balance all these things together, and what do
Yeah,
you take on it?
right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the whole experience of the album, it was great to release it, and, be able to share it with fans online, and we perform it live too. Um, but like, yeah, I guess in a day of streaming, it's so nice to have something that's physical, like in a medium that you can like touch and hold on to, and have fans support us that way with vinyl. So it's and now that vinyl seems to be back like popular
Hmm.
again, um, it was like the perfect time to put this album into vinyl. So it's pretty exciting. Yeah, I got to see the whole process of how they press it in the plant this week. So yeah, which is great.
That's
So
exciting.
yeah, I know. So yeah, here in LA, getting to see it just right in front of me, just come out of the way it just comes down, and then what else? Yeah, just seeing all the parts that are involved. Like they put the vinyl. I don't even know what they call it, but they put it in, then it comes out of the machine, and then all of a sudden it's vinyl.
Interesting.
Yeah, which I didn't even know about the process before, and so it's nice. I'm almost like feel like I'm discovering my project in like a new way by being able to create it now as a vinyl and listen to it on a vinyl player. And it sounds similar, but a little different. Um, but yeah, I think it's important to have other ways for people to be able to distribute music, and beyond just streaming, because it's so easy online for music these days to just you hear it and then it's gone. But
Yeah,
yeah.
if I ever get to meet you in LA, I'll take a signed
Oh,
copy.
sweet.
Especially, please take it on like I live in Mumbai, but please take a sign on that golden one. I love that golden one. It looks very
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, the golden color.
I have a LP, like a player at home, because my dad, it's so crazy. You took me back when you said that, because my growing up, originally I'm from Bombay, India as well, and my dad used to have all these classical LPs. He used to visit Germany a lot, and he had bought Mozart, Bach, and all these things from there, and there he used to play those. And as a kid, I would just listen. I would not understand, but it was just in the background. And so you kind of took me back to that. And so I have a record player now, and I have, for some reason, every Sunday. That's the not the rule in the house. Me and my wife, every Sunday it comes on, and I have a whole bunch of LPs, and I collect a lot of different vinyls and everything. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Every
Yeah.
Sunday morning, that's playing.
Right.
That's good.
Yeah.
Moving ahead, Ima, you studied film scoring, but also performed many shows live. Like I have seen on your Instagram, those are very immersive shows. So, how does storytelling change when the audience isn't watching while we score for film? Like, what's your process behind it?
Yeah, I think storytelling can be found in so many different mediums. It's kind of, I think it's the through line that connects everything that I do. In film scoring, I get to like step into the character psychology or the worlds that are built within the film, and so I love that part with putting my music kind of into those worlds. And then with the immersive concerts, I'm almost like a concept creator where I'm thinking about what the concept is and how that's meaningful and maybe is connects to the location that I choose. I've done some outdoor site specific locations, some indoor theaters. So I really love seeing what the program is like for my music, and if I curate other composers or artists, seeing how the story like connects through the music to the situation. So yeah, and then so as I perform, even when I was actually studying classical music, I used to think about what's the story. As I like if it was a solo violin piece, I still think I've always thought about the storyline. So
Hmm.
I feel like that connects me really. That's kind of the main thing that connects me to everything. Yeah, the storytelling and the concepts. So I think that's why I love creating the concerts because of the concepts. Yeah.
Creating the conscious because of the concept. I love that. I love that.
That's nice.
So talking about when you're creating these pieces, right? Whether it's for screen for a screen, an album, or a live space. So just trying to understand what usually comes first. Is it the emotion? Is it an image, texture, or movement? Like just trying to understand the process for the composing.
Yeah, it depends. I guess emotion is pretty important. If yeah, if I like to, if it's a film, if I look at, sometimes you might have the script or just the main emotional beats or information. Like I like to like really just think about what the topics are, and then think how that works emotionally with the scene or the the album. The album kind of was written over kind of a time period where like water became like a central topic, but I just seen that kind of emerge as I was like writing it. But I think probably emotionally it's kind of coming through me as I write it. Then you were saying about whether movement.
Hmm.
With my concerts, I often work with dancers as well. And even when I was in Vienna, I actually called my my live experiences like the name artist motion. So movement and motion is always feel like that's kind of how my brain works with movement. I like yeah. I like that connection always with music and movement. So that's probably a factor too.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
said image and texture, just to remind you. So basically, I think I don't want to speak for you, but they probably are kind of embedded in there. They're part of this whole process, right?
Yeah. Right. Image and texture. Yeah. The visual component. I've always thought that like visuals and music
Hmm.
just combines to make it like a strong like for me. I remember things a lot more if I've heard a piece of music in a film or if I've seen it connected with a visual component, it's just it has kind of double the meaning, um, personally, that I've found. So, and then texture, I think, yeah, when I look at a scene, often like the tone, I feel if the music is like matching the tone of like
Hmm.
the cinematography or the film.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I think that way maybe
So
texture.
like a full. I know I called it like an art installation with sound and music and everything, but it's like a full production then, right? I mean, it's everything coming together. It's a lot
Yes,
of
yeah.
work. It's a lot of
Yeah.
work. Yeah.
Yeah, I yeah, I put them all together. I'm like I see oversee a lot of different aspects, bringing different people together, checking, putting the concept together, then defining pretty much, yeah.
So do
Well,
you have a team, right? Like right here in LA, do you have a team? Like you go to, for example, the person for the dance aspect. Those people are taking care of that. I mean, just kind of maybe just curious to know how you put everything together, all these things.
yeah, I bring in different people. Yeah, so for the dancers, I've been working with a movement artist called Freedom and his cohort.
Hmm.
Um, so they're like movement artists. They have like an epic style to their movements that really works with the cinematic music as well.
Hmm. Hmm.
And the musicians I work with, the immersion ensemble who are on my album, um, string players that we've performed a lot with over the last few years here in LA. And so, yeah, I find kind of different team members to bring in depending on the project, and then I just have to figure out all the aspects which are kind of involved in putting productions together. And
Wow.
yeah,
That's a lot of work. That's a lot of work and a lot of coordination with all these people, right?
yes, it's true. Yeah.
But sounds like you have a good team.
Yes, for sure. Yeah. We did a big one at the Kirk Douglas Theater last August,
Oh,
which
okay.
had almost 300 people attend.
Wow.
So yeah, that was yeah, it's yeah, someone else was mentioning how many different components were involved. So yeah, I'm overseeing like a lot of different moving parts. But yeah, I enjoy bringing all those people together, and yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
find
it's
I find really good collaborators. So
that's great. You're collaborating with all these people and you're bringing them together, but it's a lot of coordination.
yeah,
It's a lot of work. I can already see that. It's a lot
Yeah.
of work and patience too with a lot of different, you're working with a lot of different people and they're masters of their own
right.
domain so that's amazing.
And you are truly multi-talented. Like you are handling in this different aspects of this whole show. Not everyone can do it. So huge respect for that.
Yeah. Big
Yeah.
respect. Yeah, because we both are performers too, and I've
Yeah.
known a lot of people. I mean, we kind of have put shows together and everything. In fact, we won. I was traveling to India, and we just put a show together in Mumbai, Bombay, and we know what goes into kind of connecting with people. I have a band in LA. It's an Indian rock band, but we've done shows in the past a long time ago in the Arts District on Sunset, and it's a lot of work to get people on the same page and everything, right?
Yeah.
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 So
For
hats
sure.
off. Yeah.
Thanks.
Ima, through your immersive music, your immersive shows, you literally transform venues into multi-sensory environments that blur line between stage and audience. So when you host such shows, what goes in your mind, that what do you think people are really seeking when they come to these immersive experiences?
Yeah, I think well, people are seeking community and also to against that blending of different aspects, um, kind of perspectives from different people. So not just the traditional what you might expect, kind of breaking out of the perceived concerts or um giving. I think people get to also step into like a new world. I try to like create a world for them, or they can step into their own worlds by seeing this in front of them, um and having in-person events, I think, are so important because composers as well are, often so used to being in their studios or behind
Mhm.
computers that, it gives them also a chance to be around other musicians or have their works performed, or just kind of experience something different than they normally do. And I'm always trying to make it more immersive. Each event is different, so it'd be great to collaborate with maybe visual artists next, or immersive visuals, or um they're kind of, yeah, I'm kind of looking at next steps. The first one I did was on a hiking trail, the top of the Baldwin Hills overlooking Culver City.
Okay.
Yeah, where we there was a VR company who had headsets, so they
I was
actually
gonna okay.
yeah, and so people were able to put headsets on their heads while they listened to kind of live music spots around the overlook.
That's
So
amazing.
that was pretty cool. So yeah, exploring different things is for me kind of what's interesting about it. Yeah,
Have you thought of like holograms and that kind of stuff?
holograms.
Like
Uh,
bringing people to life?
oh no, but actually, I feel like there's conversations I can have with other people in those kind of worlds.
For
Yeah.
every time it's about, I mean, it's not, anytime who's doing something different with their music, it kind of reminds me of like the VR thing you talked about, being immersive and everything, you're wearing a headset. But it just reminded me of something kind of slightly different. But I used to work in LA at a studio at the time, and it's a VFX studio in Venice Beach. And we had the film studio and right next to the Gold's Gym, right on Third and Main, right next to that. And now it's owned by, I think, Google now. And we had our ad studio where we used to do a lot of national level ads and everything, up in Playa Vista, just down. And at the time, we had done and I was there for that shoot. We had done the Tupac Shakur hologram where they brought him to life, and Dr. Dre was there. And yeah. So it was like, um, kind of different, but it's just when you're telling me all these things, I'm kind of giving you ideas. Maybe you want to bring some of the old classical influences, or I don't know, some people to life.
Wow.
Yeah, have them on stage and right next to you as you're performing.
I hadn't even thought of that. Yeah,
That's
you never
great.
know what's possible.
Well, a lot of things are possible nowadays. I mean, especially with the immersive stuff. I mean, there's, and especially with all the AI stuff that's going around. I mean, there's so much one can do.
Mm.
Um, like I work for a creative tech company, and I'm literally we're just talking AI all day. My whole day is just that. It's like, how can we do something over here with AI? How can we build this? How can we build that? Yeah,
Yeah.
That's great.
yeah, it's crazy. But talking about the work and the recognition, your debut album, Concurrence, explores interconnectedness and resilience, and you released it independently. I thought it explored interconnectedness and resilience, right? And you were independently releasing it. So, did the album ask you um, anything different, like creatively and personally, that your earlier work didn't? How different was it?
Yeah, so I think with this album, it was really kind of delving deeper inside, and the interconnectedness is kind of with all these coexisting forces, like within ourselves
Hmm.
and in society as well. Um, Kind of finding our way to like alignment. So I think different chapters were maybe from parts of my own life.
Hmm.
Here in LA, I've been here now like 10 years. And I think I've also like performed the material often with my ensembles. So there was kind of the interconnectedness of the group as well, that kind of came into the whole album. So in terms of, yeah, different than other projects, I think it goes maybe a little deeper, and
Hmm.
like again back to the water imagery about like if you're lost at sea and then navigating the waves. So that whole like finding yourself kind of amidst maybe turbulence or just your way in life,
Uh-huh.
that kind of is all within the album itself. So it kind of took on a life of its own, really. um and yeah, all the people involved as well just impacted it. And yeah, it's an extra special project for me because I've
Yeah.
wanted to
Sounds like
put
it.
out, yeah, I wanted to put out an album for a
Yeah.
while, so I feel like, yeah, it all came together.
And did you do all that in LA? Like, was it produced all in LA or other places as well?
It was all in LA, yeah. So yeah, Camerata Records released it, and we recorded it in Topanga in a
Uh-huh.
studio. And yeah, it was basically all done in LA.
Nice. Topanga
Yeah.
is a place, Suraj, in LA, Topanga Canyon.
Yeah,
You
right.
can just letting Suraj know because he would be like, "What is Topanga?"
Yeah.
Yeah. It's beautiful over there. That's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
It's such a
Kind of
feeling of
Imer,
satisfaction, right? When you sorry, Suraj, just this one thing, such a feeling of
yeah.
satisfaction, right? When you're working on your own album, you independently. I mean, it's a lot of work and a lot of things, and you're questioning a lot of things when you're doing it. But it's so much when it's finally done. It's such a that feeling is just amazing, right? When you're listening to that for the first
Yeah.
time, the master, you're listening to that, and you're like, oh my god,
Right. Yeah, exactly. It was all the different parts. It's like a jigsaw piece. There's the recording studio and then the mixing and the mastering. I actually worked with someone on the East Coast in the mastering.
mm.
But yeah, all the it's kind of, yeah, like different parts of I guess the journey of the album, and then getting it out there, uh and now into vinyl. Yeah, it's really, it kind of does feel like your baby that you're like bringing
Yeah.
to towards.
To life, right?
Yeah,
Almost.
it's life. Yeah.
It's awesome,
Right.
awesome.
So definitely, yeah, yeah, all this kind of the support behind it like really helped, kind of like, from my idea, from the fruition to it to like it all being done.
Hmm.
Oh yeah.
Great. So, Emer, tell us about your journey of being violinist, because I have seen your video where you are playing violin and it sounds stellar. Like it doesn't sound like some average violin player. You are very good at playing violin. Like I know many violin players who are my friend, but when I heard your violin playing, it is really mesmerizing. So, how did your this journey of being a violinist starts? Like was it your first instrument, or was it something like else? Then you like the violin and you keep on practicing it more and more.
Oh, yeah. So I started playing the violin at the age of 2.5.
What?
Wow,
Yeah.
2.5.
Who
Yeah.
who who
Wow.
gave you a violin at 2.5? Was it your dad or mom or?
My mom, yeah, she found a Hungarian violin teacher who advertised in the local newspaper. So she was like, "Oh,
Wow,
we're just going to get started." Yeah. So played, yeah, my whole life.
it's amazing.
Yeah. So I was always kind of around violin. Um, and, I liked like being the soloist, and then, went to conservatoire for violin performance. And then, um, I guess, yeah, the violin's really kind of my voice through composition as well. I use it like texturally or minimally, but kind of the sound, kind of my violin sound is very like intrinsic to kind of the world I build with my music. That a little bit of that raw, poignant, more intimate kind of sound, which I've kind of built around being a performer and to composer. Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, so you actually had a teacher at 2.5?
Yes.
Wow. Do you remember anything from then or?
um, a little bit, I think. I have a picture that I got recently where it shows me like that young. So I look like my bow arm's already ready. Like it looks like as if I'd been playing for a while. Yeah.
That's amazing. Amazing.
That's
That's
great.
crazy.
That's super. You often speak about community and belonging. How do you intentionally create these spaces where people can connect, not just for the music, but to themselves and for each other?
Yeah, I think that the topics of connection and belonging, that's also throughout my album, and then the spaces that I create for people to come together and experience the music. I think, everyone's it's so there's so much disconnection in the world, or just even in finding yourself, going through life, that connection is so important, and bring people together to not just like coming together themselves, but like putting like the pieces inside of you, like into alignment, and kind of finding your like your way to like to peace, really. um yeah, like I think spaces where you can kind of just put all those parts together. That's usually what my events are often about, and what my music is kind of speaking to. Yeah.
That's that's nice. I mean, so continuing on what Suraj just asked you about, community belonging and the meaning behind that, right? Um, there's a strong, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's a strong wellness and mindfulness thread in how audiences respond to your work. So why do you think this kind of music resonates so deeply right now?
Yes, I think people can really step into a way. It's a little meditative, that you can kind of stepping into this world, or like feeling like the vibrations of the music. I've heard people say that like it's not like typical meditation music,
Hmm.
but that
Hmm.
they felt like that they were able to tap into a part of themselves just by listening to it. Or someone said that kind of washed all their worries of the day away for them. So I do kind of get responses like that. And I think like wellness is pretty important these days. I think a lot of people are gravitating towards that, to feel more, again, connected to themselves, or um just being able to take time out of their daily life,
Hmm.
and like really like be in their bodies. So I think my music kind of helps them go on this journey of
Mm.
self discovery in a way. uh,
So that's interesting. I mean, I'm curious to kind of know, like, for your live shows, talking about the mindfulness, the wellness, and everything, and how what people are telling you, what they feel about the music, and I'm curious for your live shows, like, what's the kind of audience like? I mean, is it? I'm not specifically asking demographics or anything. In general, like age group, or is it people from all walks of life? I'm just kind of curious. I'm just kind of trying to visualize that experience.
yeah, it seems it's quite it depends. Sometimes I've certain different topics, like I have talks sometimes, like my salon series, that might bring maybe sometimes more filmmakers to the events, or
Mm.
composers, certain events. But probably, but like about maybe 25 and above, often. What do I say? Just different different kind
Different.
of industries and people in LA.
So
Yeah,
pretty diverse, you would say. Pretty
yeah,
diverse.
it's pretty diverse. Yeah.
That's nice, right? I mean, that's kind of, and if you're connecting with those souls, through your art, I think what more can an artist ask for? I think,
Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
and you're getting the thing back. They're saying it moved a certain thing within them, or whatever the comments you're getting after this. I think it's should be pretty satisfying, right?
Yeah, it's always really nice to hear those kind of responses, because then, yeah, if you're touching people, if you're, like they're responding to your music and your message. That when I when there's like a room full of people and they come back because of those feelings or how makes them feel. That's always good to know that people are responding to it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's amazing. Yeah, really, really cool.
That's great. Looking ahead, Ima, as an artist, innovator, and a community builder, what feels like the next evolution of your journey that you are right now quietly preparing for? Mhm.
Yeah, I think possibly touring more live with my music, and a mixture. I still like a mixture of the kind of various components, like working on more films with great like good messages, meaningful concepts, and just finding more collaborators, and then also yeah, again combining there's maybe more talks about what I do as an innovator and composer, violinist, and then expanding it into maybe more immersive spaces.
It's
I can
awesome.
kind of yeah see that as the
Can
future, just
you
kind of
can you
forward.
tell us a few that you're working on? Like, you don't have to give the whole thing away, but like what you're planning. Can you tell us, like maybe an album, a song, or some projects that you're already planned and they're in the pipeline or will be in the pipeline?
Yeah, right now I'm planning some workshops and more of my salon series with talks and performances, and then another annual show with composers in the summer.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, putting ideas together for the next album also, and
Okay,
yeah, and excited to sell the vinyls of Concurrence. They're
Wow.
they're available online on my website too.
that's
Um,
amazing that you did that. Like, it's so amazing.
yeah, yeah, it's very exciting. Yeah,
That's awesome. So lots of things happening. Like, uh, I think I'm following you on social media, and if I'm not, I will. And if I'm ever in LA, or if you're performing anytime in SoCal somewhere, and if I'm available, I'll definitely stop by because I love the kind of stuff you're doing with the whole. It's not just going and playing; it's the whole immersive pieces and everything. I love those kind of things when artists do that combination of different art forms, if you will.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's what I like. Seeing things from different perspectives and seeing how they all blend together. Yeah,
Yeah. So, was installation the right word to use? I don't know. I mean, it just kind of
yeah. It's hard to know what the right word is. Yeah, installation. Maybe with this more visual aspects, but
visual aspect. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, the dancers and depending on the site specific location. Yeah.
Talking about, one thing I think I was going to ask you earlier. I forgot talking about the dancers and everything, and you get all these people together, right? You get the dancers, you get the performers, and all that. So, is it like so? You guys rehearse a lot before like a performance because there's so many you have to coordinate with so many people, right?
Yeah, 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 we rehearse and then the dancers often are choreographing based off of the concept and
Uh-huh.
the idea, and then we come together and see it together. And then yeah, it does yeah, then there's rehearsals and musicians. So it's all just different threads that come
Wow.
together. Yeah.
Yeah, the reason I ask that is because I know as an performing artist and Suraj, it's so difficult to get people together, same place, same time, same
Right.
page,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So it's a job in itself, right?
Yeah.
Because you're the
That is
conductor at that point. You're conducting everything, right? And making
yeah,
sure that
exactly.
it goes well at the end of the day.
Yeah, 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 I just feel a bit like yeah, conducting, I guess. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
So, so Ima, thank you so much spending this time with us. We really appreciate the openness, intention, and the care you bring to your music and the spaces you create. We really appreciate that. So, thank you so
Thank
much.
thank you so much for having me. Yeah, this is lovely.
Yeah, this is great. I mean, this conversation really is a reminder that art can be a place of connection to ourselves, to each other, and to something larger than us.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true. That's that's how I like to think that what art is bringing to our communities and society.
Hmm.
And we have to support that as well. Because it's
Absolutely.
all these moving parts that
Yeah.
people support the arts so that we can do even more. Yeah.
Yep. So thanks so
That's
much
great.
again.
All right. Thank you.
And to everyone who's listening, thank you being here with us. If this resonated with you, please go to check Emer's Instagram account. Do listen to her songs on Apple, Spotify, and all other major streaming platform. Do let us know what you feel about it, because that's the important for every artist, that their listeners connected with them. And make sure you join our community on Discord, where different artists from all over the world connects and discuss about the art. We are looking forward to see you there, and we'll see you in the next episode of the Artist Conversation.
Thanks, everyone.